Double clap to get things started. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Late Night Show with your host, Dr. Kojo. I am checking in today with a new profile picture. With a new profile picture. I'll just click the one that we have here on Facebook. Look at that handsome guy. Look at that. Look at that. With a new profile photo. And we're talking about 8 signs that your nervous system is dysregulated. So, for all my dysregulated boys and girls, come on up to the front. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it because before you can fix anything, you got to first address the problem. You have to figure out what's going on. Why am I feeling like this? Why do I feel like I'm stuck? It could be because you're dysregulated. All right. So we're going to talk about that tonight. To kick things off, go ahead and use the comment section to let me know where you are checking in from. Just as a reminder, we have an international audience. So we have people checking in from all over the globe. I want to see where you're checking in from as we get started on this live stream here tonight. On TikTok, we have Mary Robinson checking in from Idaho. Mary, welcome to the live stream. We have Heidi on Facebook checking in from Sydney, Australia. So awesome. So awesome. The first comment came from Lady Angel. She's in Wisconsin. Okay. Patrick is checking in from London. Patrick's an OG. James checking in from Portland, Oregon. Omaha, Nebraska. Bree on TikTok from Iowa. Lena from Winnipeg. So we have some Canadian love in the house. Jessica from Maryland. Okay. Pular from Vancouver, British Columbia. Or beautiful British Columbia, as they like to say up there in Vancouver. That's what's on the license tags. Beautiful British Columbia. I like that. Somebody checking in from the Netherlands on TikTok. It's 3 a.m. in the Netherlands. Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us during the late night manic hours. We appreciate it. Somebody's checking in from Maryland as well. As a reminder, we are streaming to a couple of different platforms, y'all. We're streaming live on not only Facebook, but also on YouTube, both my YouTube pages, LinkedIn, Twitch, Kick, and TikTok. So once again, that's Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, Kick, TikTok. We're streaming on 6 platforms. My goodness, look at the internet. What an amazing thing. What an amazing thing. And Michelle, sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. Bullet hole in your house. Sorry to hear that, and I appreciate your attention. And yes, LinkedIn does do streaming now. They've been doing streaming for a while. I don't imagine LinkedIn to be the place that people go to for streaming, but you can get these live streams on LinkedIn. We stream to LinkedIn every single time that we go live. We do. Lena, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And TikTok has this cool thing where now there's a AI summary that runs on TikTok, and it tells people who are just now joining the live stream what's going on. The AI summary TikTok says discussing signs of dysregulation in the nervous system, which is accurate. So that's pretty accurate. That's what we're doing here. We're talking about 8 signs that your nervous system is dysregulated. When your nervous system is dysregulated, you are more likely to make bad decisions or decisions that don't reflect who you are, where you want to be, in the direction that you want to go in. When your nervous system is out of whack, you may struggle to sleep. You may struggle to form connections with people. You could be more likely to be depressed. All right. So we need to know what the signs of a dysregulated nervous system look like. All right. And before I get to the topic, I want to go ahead and thank Houston, Texas. We had a show about 2 weeks ago to kick off the tour in Houston, Texas. It was amazing. Houston has my heart for forever. It was awesome. I enjoyed being in your city. I enjoyed performing stand-up comedy for y'all. Now we are set our sights on the very next city of the big Neurodivergent Comedy World Tour. Fellas and ladies, we are headed to Nashville, Tennessee on May 31st. We're going to be at the Zanies Lab in Nashville, Tennessee, May 31st. We had one show that we put up a couple of months back. That first show sold out. So because the first show sold out, we added a second show. So we have a doubleheader prepared for you May 31st in Nashville, Tennessee. I cannot wait. It's going to be amazing. So Nashville, Tennessee, May 31st, the Zanies Lab. Get your tickets now. The link is in the bio. We sold out the first show in Houston. The first show of the tour, we sold it out in Houston. And as a token of my appreciation, I held up my end of the bargain. I told y'all that if we sold out that first show, I would wear gray sweatpants. And I did that. And it was a little cold on stage, but I was more than happy to rock the gray sweatpants for the first show in Houston because we sold it out. And we've sold out the first show in Nashville, Tennessee, and we've added a second one. So there's no more tickets available for the first show in Nashville, but we've added a second one, and I cannot wait to see you all in Nashville on May 31st. Leilani, what's going on? Leilani is checking from New York City. She's our moderator over on the YouTube side of things. All right. I'm looking here at the comments. Somebody said they cannot hear on TikTok. Are you able to hear me on TikTok? Let me make sure y'all can hear me. Yeah, I heard myself. Looks like y'all can hear me on TikTok. Okay, Jessica says yes. All right, cool. Perfect. By hearing and hearing by. I know, that's hilarious, right? And look, I had some doubts that we would sell out that first show. So I'm like, you know what? Fine, I'll wear a gray sweater, whatever. If we can sell out the first show, and my community rallied, I saw how powerful this community is. Y'all came out and y'all brought the energy, and I'm grateful for that. Forever grateful for that. So that was awesome. And like I said, we are turning our sights and our attention to Nashville, Tennessee, May 31st at the Zanies Lab. And with that being said, let's get into the signs that your nervous system is dysregulated, all right? So first and foremost, you startle easily at small sounds or sudden movements. Signs that your nervous system is dysregulated, all right? Something drops in the area, or there's a sound that's out of the ordinary. You go like this. So this looks like me dropping this right here. Watch this. Ooh. What happened? More than likely, this is an effect of you being hypervigilant and always waiting for something bad to happen. You're waiting for the other shoe to drop. You see this a lot with people who experience something called CPTSD. If you've gone through trauma over and over, and it's been a recurring theme in your life, there's a good chance that you have CPTSD. And if so, you're somebody who's probably hypervigilant. You're always waiting for something bad to happen because you've seen bad things happen before. So you want to get ahead of the bad thing by anticipating it. Unfortunately, that doesn't do anything to prevent the bad thing that could happen or the bad things that will happen, because bad things is just a matter of when. None of us get through life without adversity and trauma and disappointment. So bad things will happen, right? You just have to make sure that you enjoy the time in between. But you cannot enjoy the time in between if you're spending all your time being worried about the fact that something bad could happen. So if you're hypervigilant and something happens, or there's a weird, awkward sound, you can get startled quite easily. You might be startled. And Sandy, I was in Houston April 26th, and I'll be back for the next tour. Next time I go back on tour, I will definitely add Houston. Houston is one of my favorite comedy cities now, so I'll definitely be back for the next tour. Lacey says, also for me, is sudden outbursts, or Kim, over small things they seem big at the time. Right. Most definitely. Being easily startled. Have you seen these people? That something will happen and their eyes get big. They're like, oh my goodness, what's going on? All right. This is what it could look like if you have CPTSD, or you don't have to have CPTSD for this, but if you have a dysregulated nervous system, you could experience these things. And I'll get to my sister in a second. And yeah, speaking of Sonia's comment, I am looking to come to the East Coast. I also have CPTSD as well, Sonia, and I'm bringing my CPTSD and everything to the East Coast. We're looking to add some East Coast dates. I'm talking to a couple of promoters. We're looking to add some shows in the New England area, Boston, without disregarding the West Coast as well. So we are looking to come there eventually. Eventually. Coco, that's funny. Love from the Berg. Aaron says, I startle easily, even if my husband wakes me up. Startling easily. Guys, like I said, that's the first sign that your nervous system could be dysregulated. And for Bella on TikTok, who's saying, what tips do you have for someone interested in trying out comedy? To put yourself out there, go to an open mic and tell some jokes. They may not be funny. They could be funny. But the goal is to articulate yourself. I don't know how to do that. And expressing yourself through art form is one of the best things that you can do. It's a healing thing, especially for those of us who are neurospicy. We got a lot of trauma and we're trying to work through things. I think music, comedy, anything where you can express yourself, it's a powerful thing. So go to open mic and definitely give it a shot. Definitely give it a shot. And I should have explained this already, my bad. The C in CPTSD stands for complex. I should have explained this so that way you wouldn't have to ask. I should just have said it. All right. C, PTSD, complex post-traumatic stress disorder. All right. Complex post-traumatic stress disorder, which is not recognized by the DSM, but it's a thing. And I would anticipate that the next version of the DSM would have it. So complex. All right. The second sign your nervous system is dysregulated. All right. You feel exhausted, but struggle to sleep. Now, this is very frustrating. And I unfortunately can relate to this, right? You feel exhausted, but still struggle to sleep. There's nothing worse than winding down or attempting to and not being able to sleep. Like you're tired. When your body is physically tired, but your mind is still racing, that's a tough place to be. Anybody who will look at you would say, this person's tired. This is not somebody who should be operating machinery. This is somebody who should be in the bed. They look like they're exhausted. But then you hop into the bed and you still can't sleep. You still cannot sleep. The mind is doing what the mind does for some of us, racing thoughts, overthinking things, trying to make sure that we're safe. A lot of us who struggle with a nervous system that's out of whack, we don't believe that we're safe. Many times throughout the day, I'll tell myself, I'll say, Cody, you're safe. You're good. You're safe. You're good. You're safe. You're good. You're safe. You're good. And I'm a grown man. I'm 6'3", and I'm talking to myself like this. You're good. You're safe. You're good. You're safe. You're good. You're safe. You're good. You're safe. I'm looking on TikTok. Catherine says, I slept 2 hours last night. So if you don't get the right amount of sleep, or at least sufficient sleep, you're going to feel tired the next day. I think that goes without saying. But if you don't get enough sleep, your brain cannot refresh. And if you're neurospicy like me, your brain is working overtime in the day. Your brain's working overtime during the regular hours. So sleep is imperative for us. It's very important. And Leilani says the type of drain that sleep doesn't fix sometimes. Right. Sometimes you can, this is the craziest thing. You can go to bed tired sometimes and sleep for 8 hours and still wake up tired. You can still wake up tired. So if you're not getting enough sleep, I mean, now you're twice as screwed, because even when you do get sleep, when your nervous system is out of whack, 8 hours, 7 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours, sometimes doesn't move the needle. You're still tired. And more than likely, if you're this type of person, you're struggling to sleep, or even when you sleep, you don't feel tired, you don't feel rested, there's a good chance that there's something wrong with your environment. Something is going on with your environment. You got to change something about your environment. It's pretty hard to heal in environments that made you sick. You got to change something about your environment. Maybe get out of a relationship, maybe leave your house more, maybe leave the job. I'm not saying to, quit your job and, be a brand new person on a random Monday, but evaluate the things in your life. We should all be doing audits, at least quarterly throughout the year. Sometimes it's helpful to do audits monthly. I do it monthly. Audit everything in your life. Who am I spending time with? Do I like the people that I'm spending time with? Do I feel supported in my relationship? Because look, you can do battle by yourself, but when you're in a relationship with somebody, you should be making their life better and vice versa. Do I feel supported in this relationship? Am I safe in this relationship? Do I feel supported at work? Am I safe at work? How's my social life? Am I talking to family members and friends? Am I isolating? It's helpful to do an audit every now and then, at least quarterly. At least quarterly, you got to do an audit at least quarterly, because there's a good chance that you could have people in your life that need to be removed from your life. And look, we're all the villain in somebody else's story. So I'm not going to act like all the people who are watching the live stream right now, we're all good. And the problem is with everybody else. Because like I said, in somebody's story, we are the villain. Maybe people had to cut us out to protect their mental. But at least for us and from our vantage point, it's helpful to ask yourself every now and then, do I need to be associating myself with these people? Like, am I helping myself out by remaining at this job, in this city, with these folks, in this relationship? Just asking yourself that question gets you a little closer to the truth. Just a little closer to the truth. A little closer to the truth. All right. And let me see. My next one. Ooh. This one right here. I feel this one. Signs your nervous system is dysregulated. Small inconveniences, if I can spell that word correctly, feel like emergencies. Small inconveniences feel like emergencies. I hope I spelled inconveniences correctly. If we have the spelling police in here, show your face. Let me know if I spelled that correctly. All right. But small inconveniences feel like emergencies. So let's say you lost your wallet or your keys, but there's an air tag on it. And you know they left it at the gym, right? You left your wallet at the gym and you got home. All right. You look to see where your wallet's at using the AirTag feature on the iPhone, and it shows that it's at the gym. But in order to go to the gym and to come back, that's probably a 35-minute round trip. But you know where your wallet's at. So if you know where your wallet's at, I'd call it a small inconvenience. Okay, I got to drive across town, pick up my wallet, and then come back home. I still have to make dinner for myself. I still have to do homework. I still have to get caught up at work. But now I got to drive out the way and pick up my wallet. It can feel like an emergency. It can feel like you're losing everything. Like this small thing can really be like, man, like this thing has gotten me down. And the greatest ability that we can possess throughout the day is to learn how to regulate and control our mood. And number two, your focus. If you can control your mood and your focus throughout the day, guess what? You'll be getting things done. You'll be moving from one task to the next. You'll be feeling proud of the progress that you're making. But if you can't control your mood and or your focus, you're going to feel stuck. You're going to feel stuck. When you're in a good mood, you leaving your gym across town and having to do this 30, 40-minute round trip, you're like, okay, shoot, I left my wallet at the gym and yeah, it sucks. So I got to go pick it up. But I guess I'll use this as an opportunity to listen to my favorite podcast. I'll listen to, I'll stem out to one of my favorite albums from back in the day. I'm going to turn this into a pleasurable experience. When your nervous system is regulated, you look for opportunities. When your nervous system is dysregulated, you're stuck in the problem and you cannot see past that. Catastrophizing, yeah, it's pretty hard to see past the problem when your nervous system is stuck. It's stuck. And Heidi, sorry for your loss. Sorry for your loss. And a lot of us, when you lose a big figure like your parent, that dysregulates you. Just having a parent around, even if your parent is old and they have dementia, just having them around provides a sense of safety. And how can you relax? I think you have to first acknowledge that, you're out of whack with your nervous system. You got to be nice to yourself and do that audit and figure out what can you take out of your life that needs to be out and what do you need in your life that's not currently there. Normally, it's one of those two things. It's either there's something in my life right now that I have that needs to get out. I shouldn't be messing with this thing. I shouldn't be messing with this person. I shouldn't be hanging around those folks. They got to get out. Or there's something that I should be doing that I'm not doing. I need to be doing this. I need to be sleeping at a decent time. I need to be waking up and going to the gym. So if you can figure out those two, what you have to cut out of your life that's in your life, and what do you have to add to your life that's not in your life. Yeah. You do that, you'll be rolling. You do that, you'll be rolling. You'll be rolling. Leah, good to see you on TikTok. Someone says it's a topic CPTSD, not CPTSD specifically, but all these signs right here could very well be signs of complex post-traumatic stress disorder. That would work in the title. 8 signs you have CPTSD. That would work. I took it from the angle of your nervous system is dysregulated, but this is a CPTSD live stream, because if you have CPTSD, you got to be mindful of these things. You got to be mindful of these things. Number 4, signs that your nervous system is dysregulated. You go numb or check out during stressful moments. Guys, your ability to handle stress says a lot about you. How resilient of a person are you? Okay, you got to be honest with yourself, because it's you. You're watching this live stream at home, and you're home. It's the end of the day. It's 6:31 on the West Coast, 9:30 on the East Coast. So you're home. You're by yourself. You can tell the truth. Ask yourself, how well do you handle stress? Are you somebody that crumbles under stress, or do you rise to the occasion? How resilient are you? Resiliency is something that you need to be looking at. Sonia says she's too resilient. That's a great trait to have. And I define resilience as how quickly you can bounce back to your baseline after something bad has happened. All right? How quickly can you bounce back to your baseline after something bad has happened? By hearing and hearing by says, many would have died in what I lived. So this is a resilient person. This is somebody who's been through a lot, and they're able to withstand pain and trauma and sorrow. And I don't wish stress upon anybody's life. Like, I don't want things to be more complex than they are right now. But your ability to be resilient and to push through stressful situations is generally a positive trait. And all of the stress, all the frustration, all of the heartbreak, what does that do? It builds character. It builds character. I'm sure we all have a friend or a friend of a friend, or somebody that you know who hasn't really been through much. It's hard talking to these people. Now, I'm not saying that we're all traumatized here, but it's hard talking to people who have never been through anything. No heartbreak, no financial struggle, no relationship trouble. Like, they've never been through anything big. And like I said, we shouldn't wear trauma as a badge of honor. But when you've been through traumatic situations time and time again, but still you push through, you got that dog in you. You're a different breed. And sometimes you look at people who have never been through anything, and you're like, I can't even hang with you, because you fall apart at the smallest thing. We are kind of going through the points fast tonight. I got 8, which is more than usual. So I got a lot to say tonight. I'm not who I was before, though. Wrong intentions, fine. That's facts. And looking on TikTok, somebody says, especially when they're judgy. Right. It's easy to judge when you've never been through something. And Olega on TikTok says, half of my life is being resilient while fixing the things my ADHD messed up. Oh, I can relate to that. Mickey Ficky. ADHD messed up a lot of things. So you have to, once again, you got to be kind to yourself. Someone says, is dysregulation the same as dysfunction? They're similar. Like a person who is dysregulated could make a couple of changes to their life, and it can bring them back to where they're able to regulate themselves better. Dysfunction appears to be more of an environmental thing, like the state that you're in. If you're in a bad relationship, you're going to be dysregulated and living in dysfunction. Okay. If you're in a good relationship, but you're working through a lot of trauma and you're having hiccups, all right, you're not in dysfunction, but you are still dysregulated because you're having a hard time working through all the events of the past. That's an outstanding question because we have to delineate between dysregulation and dysfunction. Ooh, that's a good question. I love that. Ooh, that's a great question. Chrissy, how are you? Yo, Chrissy. I used to work with Chrissy back at the in the ICU, like what, 13 years ago? A long time. Chrissy, good to see you on TikTok, Chrissy. Ah, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's awesome. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. And also, just as a reminder, please try not to spam the comments, y'all. There was a spammer on TikTok. I just had to silence him. Had to silence the spammer, so that way we can all get our comments in. Yeah, the medical center in Macon. Dang, yo, that's crazy. Wow, man, time flies. Time flies, guys. If there's anything that you want to do in life, work on it now. Work on it. That time flies after high school. Time flies. I blinked my eyes once and 13 years flew by. So we need to be intentional with everything. Time flies. Time flies. Mickey Ficky. Whew. Man. But back to where we're on the fourth point. Going numb or checking out during a stressful situation is a sign that you're dysregulated. All right. And this happens to the best of us. Sometimes the stress gets to where it's too much. Sometimes it is too much stress and it happens all at once. Because if you're resilient in here, you can handle some stress. You don't want it, but you can handle a lot of things that most people can't. But every now and then, it happens to the best of us. Every now and then, it's like, man, you're like, God, why me? Is this too much? Why is this happening all at once? Like it's happening all at once. Like I can't get a break. You'll feel like that sometimes. And it's important to know that good things come and they go, and bad things come and they go. But if you go numb or you check out during a stressful moment, it just might mean that you're just under a lot of stress. Carol, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. You didn't leave a comment. Normally people leave a comment when there's a super chat, but you didn't leave a comment there. So, but thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. We appreciate it. I recently found out I have autism and an avoidant. Also, I'm too aware of myself in the world. Having that, hyper awareness of yourself in your life. And you can definitely see that with autism. I find that people who are autistic, even though sometimes you may struggle with social cues, you know yourself pretty well. The parts of yourself that you know them pretty well. You know yourself pretty well because you've been studying people your whole life. A lot of people who are autistic are, anthropologists by default, because you have to study folks to survive. And not that you want to save people because it's your favorite thing. You have to study people so you could learn how to fit in and have friends and be employed. That's why you're so self-aware. And that can be a gift and a curse, guys. Knowing too much about your problems or knowing too much about, your limitations, it can, it's a catch-22. Definitely a catch-22. Can you add a fourth POV on videos? What's good, Jessica? More than likely, I won't do that because I want to keep my videos a similar format. But I always love reading what the community has to say. I always love hearing from the community. Ooh. Next sign that your nervous system is dysregulated, your digestion is always off. Bloating, constipation, nausea. Guys, you can feel stress physically. It's not just a mental thing. You can feel stress physically. If your digestion is always off, you're always bloated, you're always constipated, you're always nauseous, could be a sign that you were dysregulated. The mind-body connection is strong, guys. The mind-body connection is strong. Sometimes you're not really upset or in the mood. You just have to take a dump. Sometimes you're just backed up. I know that. Look, I've been there. I've had situations where I'm just frustrated. I'm like, man, I don't feel good today. Like, I just feel generally uneasy, and then you go to the restroom, you take the Browns to the Super Bowl, and all of a sudden, like, you can breathe again. You're like, life is worth living. I had a lot of pent up frustration and anger. I had to get these demons from within me. I had to expel it all out. And now I feel better. If your digestion is always off, look, every now and then, it could be off. But if it's always off, yeah. We got to fix what's inside. We have to fix what is inside. All my life, digestion problems. Look, I got to take my probiotics, my prebiotics, my postbiotics. I take all of those. I take gut health seriously now. And keep in mind, serotonin is produced in the brain and in the stomach and stored in the gut. So that connection is definitely there. The connection is definitely there. Ooh, I have a lot of gut issues. I get sharp stabbing pain in stressful situations. And look, sometimes we cannot manage the stress that comes towards us, but taking care of your gut health, like, that's how you know that you're getting older, when you make gut health more of a priority. Like, I know I'm definitely older because I make gut health a big priority. A big priority. Melly says, haven't heard that one in a while. Taking the Browns to the Super Bowl. Yeah, every now and then the Browns go to the Super Bowl. Not in real life, but in my restroom they do. In my restroom they do. Somebody asked, the healthcare always overstimulates you at the bedside? When I was working in the ICU was pretty overstimulating for me. It just wasn't my environment. But once I got to the psychiatric hospital, yeah, like, the psych hospital is, like, to me, the psych hospital is what a basketball court is to LeBron James. It's my playground. I feel very comfortable at the psych hospital. I can do 3 different things at once. Like, I got all the patients, like, all of them are good under my care. Like, I'm able to handle like 5 different things all at once. That's one of my superpowers. So once I got to the psych hospital, every now and then you get overstimulated, but that type of overstimulation, I like it. I like that kind of overstimulation. Just for me. Just for me. Ooh, this next one is a big. You have a hard time feeling safe. A hard time feeling safe even when nothing is wrong. You have a hard time feeling safe even when nothing is wrong. Yeah, weird question, but I'm a fan of Tom Brady. I like Tom Brady. Love you. Good to see you. You have a hard time feeling safe even when nothing is wrong. All right. It's a very confusing thing to know that there's nothing that's wrong. Sometimes, going back to the earlier example, you can be in a great relationship. You can be in a functional environment where things are good. You could have a job that's going well. You could be having a great social life, but still you feel like something is wrong. There's nothing wrong, clearly, but you still feel like something is wrong. And once again, a lot of this goes back to your childhood. If you grew up in an environment where there was abuse and or neglect, I'm gonna put back up here, you can feel like something bad is about to happen. So if there's nothing wrong, but you feel like something bad is gonna happen, that could be a sign that your nervous system is out of whack, that you are dysregulated. The brain wants to find answers for questions that it has. So if you're constantly uneasy but nothing is wrong, you're going to go searching for answers. You're going to be looking for what's wrong with you, and nothing is wrong with you at the moment, but you still don't feel safe. You still don't feel safe. Go back to what I was saying earlier in the live stream. I always tell myself, hey, Kojo, you're good. You're safe. You're good. You're safe. You're good. You're safe. I do that a lot right before I go on stage, because talking to people, whether I'm giving a keynote speech or whether it's comedy, stand-up comedy, just talking to strangers can be it can be scary. That's a very scary thing, So I'll tell myself, hey, Kojo, you're safe. You're good. It's your playground. You're good. You're good. Kind of like how your parents would do when you're younger. Hey, you're safe. You're good. Like you fell off the swing, put you back on. You're good. That inner monologue is something that we have to have. Hey, you're good. You're safe. You're good. You're good. You're Gucci. You're safe. Whatever terminology you want to use, but just reminding yourself that you're okay is very helpful. A lot of us have this negative inner monologue. We're telling ourselves bad things about ourselves, so it makes it hard for us to believe when we tell ourselves good things because we have a negative inner monologue. So it's important to just be aware of that. You're safe. You're good. You're safe. You're good. This is a great question right here. And I felt this way for the longest, but if you don't have safe housing and access to running water and a stable source of food, you won't feel regulated. Some things are just basic for us. If you don't feel safe because you don't have safe housing, fixing that would be what you would need to do to help you feel more regulated. And there's a lot of reasons why it's hard for us to find safe housing. Finances, number one. Also, some people are in situations where they're living with somebody with just an element of abuse or neglect and is not safe. It's very tough to feel regulated in those environments. Almost impossible, dare I say. So doing what you can do while waiting for your situation to get better is going to be the key. And I definitely hope that if you're in a situation like that, you're able to find some type of safety around you. Some type of safety around you. As a kid, my mom took me to the ER a few different times for sharp sobbing, abdominal pain, just stress. Guys, you can feel stress physically. You can feel stress physically. If you mention my name, you'll get a good seat in there. That's funny. Tapping solution app. Oh, no, I've not heard of this, but it seems like a neat idea. You tap on specific body areas with affirmations. Oh, you're safe. You're good. I'm just making it up. I don't know if this is how it is. You're safe. You're good. You're safe. You're good. You're doing a good job. I like this. It's like giving yourself a hug. You're doing a good job. Grounding, tapping. I'm gonna give myself a nice hug. You're doing a good job, Coach. Like I'm clapping up for myself. There you go. Clap it up. You're doing a good job. Hugging myself. I like this. I like this. Tapping. Grounding yourself. Yee. Yee. I like that. I like that. Someone says I pick at my lips a lot just to try to regulate myself. Guys, a lot of things that we do are being done to regulate ourselves because we're constantly on a journey to to equilibrium. We want to bring ourselves back to baseline. So we're doing things all the time, whether we're stimming, whether we're having sex. Many different things can be done in an attempt to regulate yourself, and sometimes you don't even know it. Using substances, getting a little tipsy, getting a little faded. You're trying to adjust something about yourself. You're trying to bring yourself back to homeostasis. And a lot of times we don't know why we're doing these things. But now you know that it's probably an attempt to regulate yourself and to get back to homeostasis. Squeezing soft balls in the room. Pause. Pause. I'm still a middle schooler at heart. Pause. I get what you mean, though. I get what you mean, but still pause. Still pause. Still pause. Oh, the Lakers are down at 8 at halftime. Oh, come on, Lakers. Pull it out. Come on, Lakers. Got the notification. I did tap affirmations. It's pressure points like forehead, the spots between your thumbs and index fingers. Oh, nothing for you. Okay. I don't think it will work for everybody, but I think that for some people it's definitely helpful. Grad school always is a pause. Yeah. Every now and then you gotta pause. every now and then you gotta pause. Molly, good to see you. Molly, I see you in the comments on Facebook. Good to see you. All right. Number 7. You go. You know what? Today I actually did drink water today. I've been peeing like it's nobody's business. We should still do a water break. Somebody dropped the magic word so I can get some more water in. But today was the first day in like 2 weeks that I've met my water goal. It's amazing. You go from feeling wired to completely drained, running out of gas. All right. Big cheers, y'all. Cheers. Cheers. Cheers, 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 cheers. Someone says, love water, my favorite drink. Wish I could say the same. I don't love it, but I still got to do it because you need it. Do we both have autism and this kids? I do believe so. Trying to tap on my kiddo is completely dysregulated. Katie, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Look, you gotta try. You gotta try. And look, today was the only day that I met my water goal, but it feels good to be hydrated. I feel good. And the funny thing about being hydrated is I feel good now, but when I don't drink enough water, that feeling is it's worse of a feeling than how good of a feeling this is. Like you really feel when you don't drink water. I get the cramping and everything, so I gotta drink some water. All right, number 7 sign that your nervous system is dysregulated. You go from feeling wired to completely drained. You can find a moment of focus where you're locked in, you're doing your thing, but that period of focus is shorter than it normally would be when you are regulated. Essentially, what I'm saying is you don't have that many good hours in a day when you're dysregulated. You think that you're doing things, but you're not doing anything. You don't have as many hours in a day of productivity. You sleep for 8 hours, right? Or you're supposed to sleep for 8 hours. You know, let's just say you sleep for 8 hours, all right? And let's say you work for another 8 hours, all right? So you have 8 hours to yourself to do whatever you want to do, to doom scroll, to work in the side business, to catch up with friends. Out of the 8 hours that you have for yourself in a single day, let's say that you normally have 4 hours where you can dedicate to a side business, to a sport. You have 4 good hours after work where you can do things that bring you pleasure. When you're dysregulated, that 4 hours is probably an hour and a half, an hour, maybe 30 minutes, and you're out of gas. You run out of gas. You can be locked in for a little bit, but you run out of energy quicker because you're doing so much thinking. You're hypervigilant. You're waiting for something bad to happen. You're in your head. And if you're stuck in the house in your head with inside thoughts, this will zap your energy even quicker. Which is why I say you got to get outside the house. You got to get outside the house. You have to get outside of the house. You have to get outside of the house. Larry, I appreciate you, Larry. Subdiagnosed autism ADHD. Appreciate you. Thank you, my guy. You have to get out of the house. Right. You can go from wired to tired pretty quickly. The energy goes so fast. So if you're dysregulated, sometimes you might be life might be lifing for you, and you're dysregulated, and you're doing your best to get back to equilibrium, but you're having a hard time. Until you become fully regulated, just expect less out of yourself. Expect less out of yourself. That's been a game changer for me. When I'm hitting that depressive slide every now and then, you get that little depressive funk, or your capacity drops, because depression will kill your capacity. So will being dysregulated. So will chronic stress. So will past trauma. Whatever is zapping your energy while you're headed down, right? And you see things get worse and worse. Just expect less out of yourself. Meaning that if you wake up and you brush your teeth, but you don't shower, that's still a big win. If you wake up, you get the dog out to pee at least once. Maybe the dog can't go out for 2 or 3 full walks, but you cut the dog out. The dog did not poop in the house. It didn't pee in the house. That's a win. That's a win. Well, take the wins. You take the small wins. You take the small wins, okay? And before you know it, it's going to start adding up, adding up, and adding up, and adding up. But sometimes you just don't have the capacity. And if you expect yourself to be just as productive as you are when things are good, you're making things a lot harder on yourself. You have to reduce your expectations of yourself while you're in a funk. Because if you bring down your expectations and you bring it to something that you can accomplish, if your only goal of the day was brushing your teeth and you do that at 9 in the morning, oh, okay. I'm one of one. I'm having a good day. I brushed my teeth. As opposed to you being like, damn, I haven't taken a shower. No, you said that your goal was to brush your teeth, and you brush your teeth. You should give yourself credit. You got to give yourself credit. You have to give yourself credit. Somebody's been asking if I like Michael Jackson repeatedly on TikTok. Yes, I like Michael Jackson. I don't know too many people. I don't know too many folks who don't like Michael Jackson. What if you do if your mind's always thinking, not racing thoughts, but always thinking of something? Meditation. There's a reason why meditation is so hard. It's the art of doing nothing. You sit there, you look at a white wall, and you allow your brain to race. Or think of thoughts. Let thoughts come in your head and let them go out. And don't judge anything that you're feeling or experiencing. Don't judge your thoughts. Sometimes when I meditate, I have some of the worst intrusive thoughts when I meditate. And I'm like, no. But I have to remind myself, oh, don't judge yourself. It's just a thought. You have to separate your thoughts and in your brain from you. Because you can have some wild thoughts sometimes. You can have some wild thoughts sometimes. And they're not indicative of who you are as a person. It's just a thought. Okay? It's just a thought. I'm struggling lately and drinking wine on 2 of my 3 off days. Full-time mom, nurse weekly 50+ hour weeks. I'm doing self-love with bath bombs. Okay, shout out to that. Buying myself flowers when life gets stressful. I find myself drinking wine to relax, but it's making me have a gut, which makes me more stressed out. That's the thing about alcohol, y'all. That's the thing about alcohol. I remember when I was up in Alaska for a couple of months, I would go to the brewery and be writing my jokes so that I could go to the open mic and perform them. And I realized that going to the brewery was cool because you get to meet people. And like when I write better when I'm around people. But because I was at a brewery, I was just drinking more. And I went home for my nephew's first birthday party last year. And my sister was like, yo, have you put on some weight? I can see it in your face. And I looked at myself and I was like, damn, I think I have put on some weight. I think I put on like 15 pounds, at least 10 pounds from just alcohol at the brewery. Remind me that I gotta slow down. And I did that. I lost 15 pounds and I'm back. I'm back. Lucy says on TikTok, just got tickets to your show in New York. Looking forward to it. Lucy, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. New York is going to be great. I've never done stand-up comedy in New York. And I think everybody in California, or at least most people in California, at least twice a year, you ask yourself, should I move to New York? Is it time to move to New York City? I love being in New York City. I love being in New York City. So June 11th at Rodney's Comedy Club in New York City, I will be there. Stand-up comedy show. We're gonna have a lot of fun. So I cannot wait to see you, Lucy, at the show in New York. Rachel, I'm coming to New York. I'm coming to New York. June 11th, New York City. The link is in the bio. We still have a show in Nashville first. We have 2 shows in Nashville. First one sold out. The second one, there's still tickets available. But then right after that, we have New York City. And then right after that, we have Chicago. And we're looking to add cities. We're looking to add San Antonio, Phoenix, Little Rock, Arkansas. I think we have a date for Arkansas already. We have a date for Seattle, Tacoma, which is July 16th. So we're gonna provide the links the moment that we have them. Yes, Seattle, July 16th. July 16th. We're working on getting the link. The moment I get the link, I'll put it in my bio. I'll put it in the bio. Rachel says, I tried the opposite. LA after New York, now back in New York City. Rachel, I see why you went back to New York. New York City is a remarkable place. There's no place like New York. And look, obviously I'm Team California, but there's no place like New York City. Like, if you're New York, you know it. You know it. And yes, Seattle, July 16th. And I'm looking to add some Boston dates. I like my Boston folks. Lavea, thank you for the super chat. I don't think you said anything. Or just super sticker. Okay, thank you. And yes, going back to the earlier thought, you are not your thoughts, just the observer behind them. Very important to know that. You're not your thoughts. You are not your thoughts, okay? You're not your thoughts. And someone says, I'm in Tacoma, but that's the day my kid leaves to play college football. Oh, understood if you can't make it. But like I'll definitely be having more shows in the Pacific Northwest area. PNW, I think they call it. The PNW. The PNW. All right, the PNW. All right, now number 8, my last one is social situations leave you wiped out for days, hours, weeks. Sign that you were dysregulated. All right. Now, unfortunately, or fortunately, but I think more so unfortunately, the way to connect with people is to leave the house. But leaving the house costs money, it costs you time, and you have to have the intestinal fortitude to deal with people. People are amazing. I love people, but sometimes people can get to peopling, and it's like, my goodness, it's a lot. If social situations leave you wiped out for days, hours, or weeks, it could be a good chance that you're dysregulated, especially if you're masking. All my people out here who are saying that they're late diagnosed autism, ADHD, you got a pretty good mask, and you sometimes don't even know that you're masking because you've been masking for so long you forgot who you actually were. So if you got a pretty good mask, it's costing you something socially. It's costing you energy. If your friends or your family members or the people who really knew you saw you operating in the real world, they'd be like, that's not Melody. That's not Brett. That's not Lovita. Like, that's their representative. So the masking will leave you wiped out. The same way that a dysregulated nervous system will leave you wiped out. You'll be tired. Going out on back-to-back days, forget it. One day, going out one day is difficult enough. What do you mean I'm going to go out for Cinco de Mayo tonight and then go out again the next night? It's a lot. That's a lot. And I like this comment from Brett. I've been thinking lately that neurodivergency and natural born empathy goes hand in hand before masking takes hold. Ooh. We're neurotypicals use sympathies as a tool without empathy. Ooh, Brett, you might be cooking. Brett. I think you are. There's a lot, in my opinion, there's a link between empathy and being neurodivergent. And it's there before the masking, but, we still look to connect with people, and we want all the social benefits. So the mask, it comes right on out. And we do connect on the live streams. We definitely do connect on the live streams. Brett, no, cheers for sure. But speaking of Cinco de Mayo, happy Cinco de Mayo. I do want to acknowledge that. Happy Cinco de Mayo. It's May 5th. It is May 5th. So we do need to acknowledge that and celebrate as accordingly. And I've heard a lot of people say this who are Hispanic, that Cinco de Mayo is not that big of a deal for them, but it is for America. Cinco de Mayo and Mental Health Awareness Month. That's facts. Last month was Autism Awareness Month, and this month is Mental Health Awareness Month. It's May. A mariachi hat. Okay, I need to give me a mariachi hat. I'm surprised I ain't never had one in my life. I ain't never had no mariachi. Okay, I'm tripping. I gotta get that mariachi hat. Don't worry, I'm gonna get it. Pueblos, and I don't know anything about Pueblo and Independence Day. It depends on the country for Cinco de Mayo. Right. It's not just Mexico. I'm realizing that. It's not just Mexico. Not just Mexico. And when I'm extremely drained, it is so difficult to be around people because I feel like I can't speak. I just need to plug in and recharge, rest, and relax. All right. And hopefully you have people in your life that allow you to be low energy when you need to be. It's very difficult having to be that vibrant person every single. It's very difficult. Nobody can keep that up. Not even me. Like I don't even try and keep that up. I like having people in my life that can just accept me when I'm low energy. I ain't got the energy today, and that's cool. That's cool. Appreciate you, Olivia. Thank you. And TikTok, someone says, I sit or lay in my bed whenever I'm at home because it's my safer, comfier space. Right. And look, we can't be at home all the time. All right. We do have to find that balance of leaving the house every now, even if you just go for a walk. Like a good long walk will solve a lot of problems. Just going for a walk. I see why growing up, older folks would be on the porch just rocking away or smoking or doing their thing because it's so peaceful. You get the benefits of being outside, but you're still at the house. You're still at the house. So if you're in an area where you can be outside safely, whether it's your neighborhood, your cul-de-sac, your apartment building, whatever the case may be, if you can be comfortable from the confines of your own home, but you're still outside, you're still getting the fresh air. Oh, that's a luxury. That's a big time luxury. I get it. I get it. Somebody on TikTok says my neighbor is gross. Okay, well, hopefully y'all don't have gross neighbors, so you can. Hopefully the majority of y'all don't have gross neighbors, so you can be outside and you can relax because you deserve to relax. You deserve to relax. Being on a boat puts me to sleep. Okay, you will love cruises then. I love to be outside, but where I moved to is too oppressive most of the year and night. Right, and once again, I said hopefully you're in an area where you can be outside safely because not every area you can be outside and be safe. Okay, there's some areas where if you're living somewhere where you need to be inside at night, then yeah, be inside at night. We don't want you to get into trouble, or we don't want you to just run the things that you don't want. But just sitting on the porch, like, man, maybe your gross neighbors, maybe they are, but whatever they're doing, don't show me. I don't want to see what you're doing. Like, you stay over there, I stay over here. When a neighbor builds a fence, and then people look, some people are nosy now. Some folks are nosy. On TikTok, Kimberly says, people are too crazy and unpredictable for me to spend a long time outside. You don't have to spend a long time outside. You just got to get outside a little bit. But you don't have to be outside for long periods of time. But it is helpful to pop out, pop back in. Just pop out, pop back in. Like even this, going to the roof and laying down, looking at the stars, that's very peaceful. Very peaceful. Very peaceful. Right here, listening to insects. I thought this was an original experience by me, but just hearing the crickets, as long as you're not biting me, like stay where you are, bug and fly and whatever, but just listening to the insects do their thing, that's very therapeutic. Do I identify as an aunt? I feel like I'm on the spectrum, and I don't have too much of an issue with labels, or I don't let things define me. So I feel like I could have something without that being, what I'm defined by. Lauren, sometimes, self-harming behaviors could be a stem. Is this something that's not, ideal? You wouldn't want to keep that up. you would want to find a different stem that's not as destructive. Courtney says, I like to make plans and then it becomes time to do the plans with friends and I cancel. Yeah, that can suck, Courtney, when you make plans and you can't follow through with it. At the same time, on the other hand, I'm sure y'all probably feel the same way in here. Whenever somebody cancels on you, instead of being disappointed, more than likely you're probably happy. Whenever somebody cancels on me, like I'm always like, oh, don't you apologize. I get to stay inside. I feel like I've been let off the hook. I'm like, thank you. Thank you for canceling because I'm low on energy anyway. Like I did want to go out. I did want to see you. Like we said we were gonna go out tonight, and I was down for it. But if you no longer want to go, oh, I always have something that can occupy myself. I can always hop on the PlayStation. I can always read a book. I can always go outside in the front porch. I will entertain myself. Don't you worry. I will entertain myself. Don't you worry. Leilani, thank you. 1 hour mark. Probably be up for like 10 more minutes. I will entertain myself. I don't think people canceling on me has ever really bothered me, you know. Never really bothered me. There have been moments where I was disappointed and I really wanted to go out. And I was a bit bummed out because the plans that were had were going to be some really good plans. But generally speaking, somebody canceling on me, like I'll still be smiling. I welcome cancels, facts. I'll still be smiling. Remind me of when I was grounded. I was still enjoying life. And guys, I hope y'all are enjoying life. It's hard to do with dysregulated, but I hope you're doing your best to fight towards that equilibrium that I was talking about today. I wanted to make sure I could still feel. Depression is a thief of joy. I mean, the thing about depression, and one thing that, going back to one of my earlier points, you don't want to compare depressed you to your most functional you. I truly believe that when you're depressed, you got to simplify everything. You kind of treat yourself like a kid. Treat yourself like a kid and simplify everything. Everything. I thrive on being around friends. Boyfriend is my dopamine. I'm a huge extrovert, but I'm neurodivergent. There's some of us out there who we're neurodivergent, but we're big extroverts. It's funny when that happens because we have energy for people and we want to be around people, but our social battery is a real thing, and it can be gone before you know it. But you still enjoy being with people, just that you maybe not, didn't have the battery that you thought you had. I love neurodivergent people. It's fun whenever I get a chance to talk with a fellow neurodivergent, especially a woman. I feel so excited and not judged. That's one of the benefits to being around your people. And somebody asked me, I think they asked in the comment, or it was a DM. They said, is your comedy tour only for neurodivergent people? I said, no, it's for everybody. Well, I didn't reply to the DM, but now I'm replying to it. The comedy tour is for everybody. But when it's promoted and branded towards neurodivergence, you're around your people. More than likely, when you come to the show, you're going to meet somebody who is like you, and you will link up and potentially become friends based off of common interest, or at least how you see the world. And if you have similar handicaps, and I'm not talking about a physical handicap, but if you struggle, in between tasks, you struggle to transition, if you struggle with time blindness, if you struggle with executive dysfunction, then, and you're in a neurodivergent space, people will understand your struggle and there'll be less explaining. You won't have to explain the same way you explain to everybody in your life. Like, oh, I go through this and like, I only have so many good hours in a day. There's less explaining because you're already around your people. You are already around your people. So keep that in mind. Speaking of that, Nashville, May 31st, New York City, June 11th, Chicago, June 18th. TikTok, somebody says, you said it's not good to fully unmask. Why? Oh, I'll tell you why. I will tell you why. The mask is probably the reason why you have a job right now, why you have some friends, why you've had past relationships. I mean, the mask is, look, this mask is powerful. All right. So even though it prevents you from being the most authentic version of yourself, it does come with a lot of social benefits. So when you're unmasking, you don't want to you don't want to unmask quickly. You want to find safe spaces where you can slowly unmask. You want to find safe spaces where you can slowly unmask. If you have at least one area in your life where you can unmask, it will bring you closer to yourself. But when you're trying to unmask and get it all back, you're trying to undo programming that you've had for decades. Some people mask as early as 6, 7, 8. So take your time with the masking. Take your time with the masking. I appreciate that, Lobita. Shout out to the Neurodivergent Lab, which is my private community for neurodivergent individuals. I just made a video today for the Neurodivergent Lab. And you can also get my content on Patreon as well and on the Facebook subscriber group. But every video that I make, any piece of exclusive content goes to the Neurodivergent Lab, which is my private community for neurodivergence. To access that, the link is in the bio. Scotty says, I will not unmask to 90%. This is probably a good idea. This is probably a good idea. Now, look, if you have some coworkers where you can unmask, that's a powerful thing. Having coworkers where you can actually be yourself. If 10% of the people you work with, you can unmask around, that's actually a really good ratio. That's really good. 1 out of 10 people that you encounter at the workplace, you can be yourself around. I'll take my odds with that number. I'll take my odds with that number. That's pretty good. Rachel says it should be called an armor instead of a mask. I can see that because it does protect you from a lot. And Wisco Jessica says, I dropped my mask and lost every identity in my whole life. Dropping your mask is kind of like becoming sober. You lose a part of your identity in a sense, and you kind of do lose people around you too. It's tough. I have a million alarms in a day. Anyone else? Oh yeah, I got a lot. Melody says, it's so cool how after my autism diagnosis, all of my past friends were also neurodivergent in some way. I'm seeing a lot of people having that experience. You get diagnosed with autism, and then when you look back at it, you realize that a lot of your friends that you've had throughout your life were either autistic, dyslexic, or ADHD. And we make this realization late 20s, early 30s, sometimes later than that. But once you get your diagnosis and things start to make sense, then you start to see why you liked certain people. The people that you could be yourself around. I had that same experience. Is that Melody? I had the same experience. Now that I'm older, I realize that almost all of my friends growing up were neurodivergent. Almost all. Like I have very few. Let me see. The majority of my friends were neurodivergent. I don't know about if it was like the overwhelming majority, but the majority of my friends were neurodivergent. And I know because I was able to be myself around them. Because I know when I'm not being myself. I know when I'm, just going along. But when you're fully yourself around somebody and you're neurodivergent, yeah, that's almost as if that person has been diagnosed right there and then. If you're fully unmasked around people that you consider to be friends, yeah, there's a good chance that they're also neurospicy. A pretty good chance. On TikTok, somebody says, my friend made me realize this and we both got tested, and bingo. Yeah. Because it's a language that we speak. It's a language that we speak. So when you can be yourself around somebody, like, that's how I know that somebody is neurodivergent. Like, I know before they know a lot of the times. And it's not because I'm Dr. Kojo, but it's because I'm Kojo and I'm living my life. So if I really like somebody, which is why I make the jokes about dating autistic women, because if a woman and I are vibing, she's normally neurodivergent in some capacity. Because if not, why are we vibing so hard? Why are we on the same page? Why have we known each other for a week, but it feels like we've known each other for 6 months? So if you get along pretty good with me, it's not looking too good for your diagnoses. You're going to get a couple. You're going to get a couple. like the fact I'm relate. And yeah, I mean, there's different ways to look at this, but um, one benefit of the mask is that you're able to see things from the perspective of the neurotypical because you essentially become one with the mask. I agree with this. There's a lot of liberation in taking the mask off, but like I said, like take your time with it. All right, take your time with unmasking. Um, I don't really have any friends, and I think it's due to underlying neurodivergent diagnosis. I've never been able to be myself around anyone besides my partner. Well, now you have me wondering whether your partner is neurodivergent, which I'm not diagnosing them, but it certainly looks like that would not be a shocking realization if they were. But not being able to be yourself around somebody, it shows that you're holding something back for a reason. You haven't found it to be a safe space, but your people are out there. They're definitely out there. I believe that they're out there. Lega says, ooh, scratch a little bit. Are you ever masking when you're talking to us? Sometimes. Sometimes I'll mask when I talk to y'all. Sometimes, but for the most part, I think that I'm myself. For the most part, I think that I'm myself. I talk how I talk. I talk about shucking, and I talk about being a Mickey Ficky, and I talk about my past, and I talk about some of the things that I've done that may not have been worth it, or I feel like I get pretty transparent with my audience. So yeah, I'm sure that the mask, because look, we've been masking your whole life. It's still there in some capacity, but for the most part, I'd say I'm unmasked here, which is why I enjoy doing this. For the most part, I'd say that I'm unmasked. We talk about the great sweatpants, and we can get a little, riled up over here. So I think I'm unmasked for the most part, but I feel like our default, unfortunately, becomes a mask, and we have to realize, oh, like, these are my people. I can be myself, and then you unmask. When you've been masking for so long, your default is probably the mask. Are real skits or are they for real? They're skits based off of real life events. They're skits. To whatever degree you unmask, appropriateness still exists. Right. And there's decorum, and there's a way that we should be acting in certain environments. So yeah, I'm masked hardcore all life, not knowing I was neurodivergent. Now I've been a neurodivergent burnout for years. Right, your capacity dwindles. Your capacity definitely dwindles the longer you aren't yourself. So that's something to keep in mind. Keep in mind. Talk about that thing needing to pause. Right. We get pretty, we talk pretty loosely here. Like I don't want this. Obviously, like I'm putting you all on game and informing y'all about things that maybe you didn't know, so that your life could improve. I want people to walk away from my videos laughing and learning something. The goal has always been to educate and entertain. And the entertainment aspect of what I do, I don't take it lightly. I think it's important to entertain. That's how you retain people's attention. I can't focus on something unless it's entertaining, and entertaining in a way that I'm able to watch a thing and retain the information and still be stimulated by it. So entertainment and education is that's my thing. That's my goal. That's my objective. And to bring out the entertainment part, that's where the unmasking comes. Like when you get to really be yourself. Because if you look at most professionals, because at the end of the day, yes, I'm on a stand-up comedy tour right now. It's going well. Like I'm excited for my stand-up career and the people that I get to meet. And whenever I drop the special, I'm excited for all of that. I really am. But I'm still a board certified mental health professional. Like I still have a doctor. Like I'm still Dr. Kojo. So, like I still have to, be a certain way, but I'm more Kojo than I am Dr. Kojo. So it's important to be yourself and to unmask. And I think that most people who have platforms similar to mine, they don't divulge as much information as I do about my personal life or about the situations I've been in. So I think that definitely separates me from most healthcare professionals. They kind of keep it on topic. Like this is major depressive disorder, or these are the signs, and but they don't really get into what their actual life is like. Whereas I'll tell y'all what's going on. I'll tell y'all about the different wives and everything. Jessica, I appreciate that. I'm happy that the bills are able to help you explain yourself better. Ari, I appreciate you. DNP, Doctor of Nursing Practice, from the nursing branch. Diagnosis for chicken. That's funny. I think I need masking classes. I don't mask well. It causes me so many problems. Oh, masking classes are for free. Just pop outside a little bit more. You'll lose yourself, but you become pretty good at being other people. Just pop outside a little bit more, and you'll lose yourself. But hopefully, guys, you got to mask in some capacity. Like, just not to scare people. Like, a little 5-10%, But for the most part, if you can stay close to yourself, that's the key. That's the key. Nick, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And when I get these comments, like, these are the comments that, not that I seek them out or, like I want people to say it, but when I get these comments, it makes me feel really good. I feel more at peace being myself after watching you break down their spiciness. I want people to feel more comfortable with being themselves. That's always a good sign that I'm cutting through and that what I'm doing is helping to connect me with people. It's so important. If you're able to be more of yourself by watching me, like that's a big inspiration behind the comedy. I want to be as me as possible to enable you to be as you as possible, if that makes sense. How many wives? Just four. None too crazy. Like I'll leave some for everybody. Like I'm not too greedy. Just four. How do people with ADHD avoid being targeted in the workplace? Pretend to be neurospicy, normal. Still waiting on the Dublin dates. Jojo, I can't wait to come out to Dublin whenever I do come out there. I know y'all like to laugh, so I would love to come out to Dublin. For at the same time, they play nice with each other. I got bullied my whole life because I couldn't figure out how to mask. But I work on masking, fitting in when I need to. Right. Like I said, that balance. And when I say just a little bit, is just learning what the small talk questions are, just so you have like little icebreakers here and there. Just like some basic stuff, like, how are the kids? The weather's been cool. Okay. Just a little bit of the basic stuff, but not to go like overboard and like lose yourself, but just a couple of like the basics. I would love to come to Sydney one day. I would love to come to Sydney one day. Patty cake. Yeah, just four. None too crazy. I think that's a nice number. I've always used comedy as a way to deal with my anxiety, depression. I love to make people laugh more than anything. This is facts. And it sounds like you have a career in stand-up or some form of comedy. You don't have to do stand-up, but you can make funny videos and, like making people laugh brings them to the present. When you're in the present moment, you cannot be anxious. When you're in the present moment, you cannot be depressed. So laughter is literally medicine and it heals. If you're fully present, you're having a good time. You're having a great time. Carrick, okay. Not sure what that is, but if it's in Ireland, I would love to check it out one day. Really dark, yeah. The more honest you can get in your comedy, the better. That's always been a goal of mine, to just be more honest. All the things that people are afraid to say out loud, just be more honest. Just be more honest. I'm always looking to be more honest. At Courtney, yes, we're on Facebook as well. We have a growing community on Facebook. We have about a month ago, we hit 2 million followers on Facebook. So a very supportive community. I really appreciate my Facebookers. I appreciate y'all. And yes, you would call it scripting. You learn a couple of things. You have a couple of pre-rehearsed lines, and then you tell people those lines, and people are like, "Oh, this person's like cool," and you're like, "That's not me," but yeah, sure. Heidi, 4 is enough. I don't think I have any space for a 5th. Like I've never seen a man who's had 5 wives who's been happy, but I've seen many men who have 4 who are happy. But it's kind of like with kids. At some point, it's like, oh, there's too many kids. We all have that number, so you got to figure out what the number is for you. Like, what's the number for you? How much is too much? Polyamory is a thing. So people like it. I'm Polynesian. That's what I call it. There's space for either. That's a lot. It's a lot of mouths to feed. It's a lot of mouths to feed. None that I know of, but I stay waiting by the phone. Like I'm ready any day for a call, but none that I know of. I like when folks can't tell if I'm being serious or not. I go along with it. I just realized I could make people laugh just by being spicy because I say things that others were thinking but had too much sociability, so they didn't say it. Right? No, this is one of the funniest things. It's one of the funniest things about being neurodivergent. Because if you say a thing out loud that you're not supposed to say, that's pretty funny. Especially if you didn't know that, that wasn't a socially appropriate thing to say. I think that's hilarious. That's hilarious. Yeah. I mean, one woman, that's a lot of attention. But see, it's kind of like when you have one kid. Like having one wife is like having one kid. They're lonely. They need somebody to play with. But when you have 2 wives, it's okay. Hey, Rachel, meet her. Hey, Rachel, meet Sarah. Sarah, meet Rachel. Hey, y'all be friends with each other. Like I should have gotten my dog a sibling when my dog was young. My dog is too old now, but I should have gotten another dog for my dog so that way when I'm out of town, my dog, they can play with the other dog and keep themselves entertained. That's what I should have done. You would have run away and hide sometimes. Oh yeah, I can hide away. Do you think it's okay for a man to have more than one wife? That's up to the man and his wife, and also the country that you live in, whatever is legal. Find you an arrangement that works for you. Find you an arrangement that works for you. It ain't gotta be what other people want you to do, but find you something that works for you. Is being neurodivergent something that can get worse or develop as you're getting older? No, so you're born with neurodivergence, but it can become worse if you don't have the support that you need. If you go a long time without the support that you need, that every neurodivergent will need some type of external support. You go too long without it, things can get harder. Things can get harder. Are you and the girl on your bills together? No, we're not together. Skits. But like, it doesn't mean anything for me to say that because I'll say that and then people will hear that. Somebody will jump in the live stream and they're like, "Oh, I love what you and your wife did." So thank you so much. I appreciate it. Does legal mean moral? Esther, I don't know. Look, I don't know. Is what is the legal thing the moral thing, and is the moral thing the legal thing? Tough figuring out what is what. Lakers are down by 12. Ooh, it's gonna be a tough series for us. So you have any advice for someone like me who is lonely and romantic asexual? I've been thinking about a polycule because apparently they can fulfill certain things, like not everyone is having sex. Have you heard of that? If so, or if not, can you give me advice? All right, so I've heard about a polycule, but I don't know all the definitions like that. So I think a polycule is multiple people within the cule, and cule is relationship to the best of my knowledge. All right. So there are many different ways to get this connection. I don't think you even have to be in a relationship for it. So if you're asexual, like just having a good friend will go a long way. Having a good friend will go a long way. But you could also, a polycule could work if everybody gets what they want out of it. It's all about people getting what they want. Some people don't care about the Mickey Ficky. They don't care about shucking. They just want connection. And if you're able to find somebody who is willing to give you that connection and you're there to receive it. And also, don't forget that having good friends is one of the best joys of life. And the reason why I'm talking about friendship is because friends don't have to be your friends. Friends are not obligated to you the same way that your romantic partners are, but they still choose to hang out with you. And that's a powerful thing. That's so dope. So dope to me. So I mean, to answer your question specifically, yeah, I mean, sure. Like you don't know until you try. Maybe a polycule is for you. At least you know that you're lonely, which is one thing. You know that sex is not a big deal for you, but you do want connection. So you can start with the things that you don't want, and using that knowledge and also the things that you do want to find a situation that works for you. And yes, I definitely agree with this right here. Legal isn't necessarily moral law or just either. Right. It's a lot of nuance there. A lot of nuance there. I have a best friend and only a couple of friends who will love someone and will love someone or more than one someone who would like to hold hands and hug and watch movies and can be comfortably quiet with each other. I think that in neurotypical spaces, this could be hard to find, but in neurodivergent spaces, you can find this because a lot of us like to be alone, and a lot of us want that parallel play where I can be here and you can be there, and we can enjoy each other. I think that's definitely attainable. From your experience, should ADHD people date each other or neurotypicals? I think you should date somebody who is committed to knowing you. Everybody says, I love you, I love you, I love you. The deepest form of love is understanding. Somebody who commits themselves to knowing you, and somebody who wants to learn how you're wired. That's who an ADHD person should date. And if that person happens to be somebody who's neurotypical, hey, I would rock with them. I wouldn't decline somebody because they're neurotypical and they don't have ADHD or autism. Now, I think that if they have ADHD and or autism, they would understand you more just based off of their experiences. But you could find somebody who is neurotypical, who doesn't have a mental illness, that's committed to learning you. And I wouldn't disregard that person just because they can't, they don't have experience with what you've been going through. So anybody who is committed to learning you and understanding you, that's the goal. Adele, good to see you. I know it's been a while, but we still stream on TikTok Live. Do you feel like neurotypicals will have the patience for us? You don't know until you try. You don't know until you try. You hopefully find somebody that can rock with you. If they can't rock with you, we're moving on. But you gotta try. You gotta try. It's trial and error. You just have to have the capacity to deal with disappointment. I think that's the thing. Like, do you have the resolve or the fortitude to deal with disappointment? If you do, you'll be fine. A lot of things are just a numbers game. Finding your person is like, you gotta date a lot. I'm not saying you have to shuck with everybody, right? But you gotta date a lot. You have to go on a lot of, like, if you have more options and you put yourself out there more, you'll find the likelihood that you'll find what you're looking for is higher, or something close to what you're looking for. That likelihood is higher. It's higher. Wanting to know you deeply is what's right. All right, because a lot of people say, "Oh, I love you," but they're not trying to get to know me. Like, if somebody never asks you questions about yourself, and y'all on like the fourth date, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's the fourth date. You should know. You should know my first name. You should know my first name. Relationships and connecting with people is harder for us. Oh, WJ, I know. And like, that's why the Bible says, guard your heart jealously. Guard your heart. You don't want to run out of heart battery. Guard your heart. And when you get to know people, don't give them everything. Like, guard your heart. Guard your heart. Guard your heart. I love the oversharing that we do. It doesn't help us out. Guard your heart. Guard your heart. Yeah, don't be the guy saving her phone as free dinner. Be memorable, cut off exploitation early. Right. I agree with this, but also the vice versa. Don't be the girl saved in his phone is, booty call after 10 p.m. whatever the case is. Be memorable. Cut off exploitation early. So yeah, guard your heart. I wasn't familiar with where that is. It looks like it's in Jeremiah, but yeah, you gotta guard your heart. Guard your heart. You can't just be getting close with anybody. You can't just be getting close for anybody. What if it's someone you're gonna marry? What do you mean by that? What if it's someone you're gonna marry on TikTok? Don't marry them. Like you. It helps when you get to a point where you're not concerned about people's opinions. Like you enjoy being alone. If you enjoy being alone, then you're generally in a position to where you can find somebody. Jessica, thank you. Thank you for reporting the spammer. What if I'm going to marry him, is it okay to overshare? I mean, how do you know that you're going to marry somebody though? And even with your partner, sometimes it's helpful to have a therapist or like other friends to bounce ideas off of. You don't want to dump everything onto your partner. Like you still want people that you can talk to. And so sometimes what we do as neurodivergents is we think out loud. We don't mean everything that we say, but thinking out loud is how we process things. So it can be helpful to journal and ask yourself, like, did I really want to say this? Or am I just talking and I'll regret what I'm saying? Above all else, guard your heart. From everything you do flows from. Yeah, you got to guard your heart. You got to guard your heart. You can't let people get that close to you. Guard your heart. Guard your heart. Especially nowadays. No. Nowadays is one of the best times to be guarding your heart. You got to guard your heart. My soon-to-be ex gets a kick out of overstimulating me when I'm already about to have a panic attack. I see why they're a soon-to-be ex. They're overstimulating you. You're about to have a panic attack. Of course, you're going to be dysregulated. All 8 signs, you probably had all 8. And guard your heart. That needs to be a shirt. Guard your heart. Guard your heart. You got to guard your heart. What to do if we are both emotionally overwhelmed, have fears early in the relationship, 2 ADHDers. Look, it's a risk either way. To break up is a risk. To continue on with the relationship is a risk. I like to take the path of least regret. Okay? There's a big difference between mistakes and regret. All right? Mistakes are things that you've done that you wish you didn't do. Regret is normally something that you wanted to do that you didn't do. All right? You want to avoid regret as much as possible. Mistakes happen, but you want to avoid regret as much as possible. So if proceeding with a relationship is the path of least regret, you got to go with that. Take the path of least regret. What are you going to regret less? All right. Mistakes happen and they're fine. But what you want to really avoid is regret. You want to avoid the regret. That's what you want to do. I love this comment from Heidi. I've been married for 22 years to my neurodivergent partner. Life is wonderful and all dreams made true. We married in our late 20s, so enjoy the hunt while you're on it. I like this. I like this. I like this. I like this a lot. It's good to know that there are people out there who found their persons. And yes, there is a Discord that we have. The link should be in my bio for the Discord and also for the private community. The path of least regret. Yep. Showers overstimulate and my depression is activated from breakup. What should I do? If you can't take a full shower, just like washing yourself down with a washcloth can be helpful. Like a little bird bath, like the minimum, nothing too crazy. Just anything to make you feel like you're a little cleaner. Once again, you have to bring the expectations down. Oh, this could be a new vocal stem. Guard your heart. Guard, kind of like in basketball when you're guarding somebody. Guard your heart. Guard your heart. Guard your heart. You got to guard your heart, guys. You got to guard your heart. Guard your heart. Guard your heart. All right, guys. Okay, we're over the 9-minute mark. It's been a great live stream. We will definitely be back Thursday at 6 p.m. West Coast time, 9 p.m. East Coast time. So we'll be back for the second live stream of the week on a Thursday night, on a California Thursday nighter. So I'm looking forward to that. And once again, the next comedy show is going to be Nashville, Tennessee, May 31st at the Zanies Lab. It's going to be a Tennessee Sunday nighter, and it's going to be amazing. I cannot wait for the showtime. For the next live stream, yes, Thursday the 7th at 6 p.m. West Coast time, which is 9 o'clock on the East Coast, which is 2 a.m. in England, which is 8 o'clock in Dallas, Texas, which is 7 o'clock in Phoenix, Arizona, which is 6 o'clock in Seattle, Washington, which is 5 o'clock in Anchorage, Alaska, which is 4 o'clock in Honolulu, Hawaii. That's the time of the next live stream. So that's correct. That's correct. Like I said, the next comedy show is Nashville, Tennessee, May 31st, the Zanies Lab. The very next week and a half after that, New York City, Rodney's Comedy Club. That's in New York City. The week after that is Chicago, Illinois, at the Comedy Bar, June 18th. All right? June 18th. So that's the information. And like I said, we'll be back on the live stream on Thursday night. Charity, I appreciate you. Thank you for all the attention. Hopefully y'all got some work done on this live stream. Hopefully it was productive. Maybe you were handling multiple things at once. Or at the very least, hopefully you laughed. And hopefully you learned something. And yeah, I've gotten good at the time zones. Yeah, so until the next live stream, y'all, guard your heart. Guard your heart. Guys, guard it. Guard your heart. Guard your heart and stay safe out there. All right. I love y'all. And I'm going to see y'all Thursday. Peace.